Today we will discuss about perception. Let us try to understand the concept perception. What do we mean by perception? Perception is a way of seeing the things, trying to understand the things. When we talk about perception, immediately it comes to our mind, is it different from what we call attitude? Yes, slightly it is different from attitude. In fact, by way of looking at the things and understanding the things, a person or an individual develops an attitude. Attitude refers to the way you think, the way you behave. Let us take an example to understand the concept of perception. There used to be a father who was a very heavy drunkard, and ultimately due to this heavy drinking he died. He had two sons. Over a period of time, one became in the process a drunkard, the other person became a successful manager. Then one gentleman tried to understand that though both the sons belong to the same drunkard father, how come that one became a drunkard, the other became a successful manager? Interestingly, he came to know that the drunkard took father as an inspiration. Whenever he encountered his father in a drunken position, he thought that it is a way kind of enjoying his life. He thought that he could afford to take the life as easy. So, in the process he also became a drunkard. Now, when the successful manager was interviewed, he had an interesting story to tell. What he said is that whenever he come across his father either beating his mother or shouting at his sons including himself, he thought that he should be different from his father. So, that is why from the beginning he took care and worked hard to become a successful manager. The two sons belong to the same father, but the perceptions differ. The way they have seen the father, the way they have tried to understand their father's behavior, took a different turn. In fact, in the case of the first son, though the things looked very easier, but in the end life was very tough. In the case of the successful manager, he took a positive perception about his father and he wanted to be different from his father, and that's why he became a successful manager. So, perception is very important, especially in a business enterprise. How the workers perceives the things, the environment around him, and because the perception affects the behavior. Let us take another example. There used to be a big man. People were very afraid of him. He was very stout, strong, well built. All the people around him were afraid of him. One day, one small shepherd boy, he came to see his brothers and he was inquiring about this big man. Then all his brothers told, said, no, he is a very big man. We can't defeat him as such. Then this small shepherd boy, he said, why not? If we all get united, however big he may be, we can. And ultimately one slingshot from this small boy killed the big boy. All of them are brothers, all of them were looking at the same man, but the perceptions were different. So, the perception, as we said, the way you see the things, the way you understand the things. In the case of AP Tourism Development Corporation, all of us are aware that some time back Dr. Anjaney Reddy, he took over as the vice chairman and the managing director of the corporation. Earlier, things were not looking bright for AP Tourism Development Corporation. At one point of time, the state government even thought of privatizing or closing the corporation as such. But Anjaney Reddy, after taking over as a managing director of the corporation, he looked at the things in a different fashion. He thought that here people have a positive attitude. They are willing to work, they are willing to put their sincere efforts, provided a direction, a new direction is given, and ultimately in a course of time, maybe in a number of say few years, the things were started happening and AP Tourism Development Corporation is doing very well. So, perception makes very interesting impact on the individual's behavior. As we said, attitude and the perception, they are closely linked together. Perception is a sensory behavior whereby an individual, he comes into contact with a behavior or with an event, with some people, he observes certain things, forms some opinion or judgment, and allows this processed information in the process, developing attitude also, to determine his behavior as such. So, once we allow the people to see the things, to understand the things, and allow the people to develop a positive attitude, it will work for the betterment of the organization. The attitude of an individual, as we have just now said, is determined by the perception he has. Perception could be a positive perception, it could be a negative perception. A positive attitude will determine a positive behavior. A negative attitude will determine a negative behavior as such. A person having a positive attitude always will look at the things, with a positive perception as such. He always expects the things to happen in a positive manner. It is said, a winner always looks for success in each and every problem. A loser always looks at problems in the events as such. So, it is the attitude which is impacted or affected by the perception affects his performance in the organization. Now, let us try to understand how this attitude is determined or impacted or affected by different factors as such, because we said it is a perception through which the person encounters an event or an experience or the people, and in the process makes some judgments about the results, and in the process also develops an attitude. So, since most of the organizations would like to have the employees with a positive attitude, it is very important, we should make the employees or create a necessary environment to have a positive perception as such. It is said that the moment you see a particular thing, immediately you register a feeling in your mind as such. So, a positive man will always have a positive attitude. A negative perception man will have a negative attitude. A winner will always look for an opportunity to record another success. A failure man will always, looks for what you call escaping from the situation, because he is afraid of the failure as such. So, the organizations, the managers who are observing the behavior of the people should take necessary steps for creating a positive environment whereby people's way of looking at the things, understanding the things, is what I call affected positively. Since the behavior is very important. Why? Though we have several resources of production like machine, material, finance and other resources, it is a human resource which is a very important resource as such. One famous management guru, once upon a time he said that human beings are an appendage of machines. That was long back. We can't accept that. The human beings are having a bundle of emotions. They have their own aspirations. They have their own feelings. If we take necessary steps to mold their perception, because it is a perception which ultimately develops into attitude. If you make the people to look at the things positively and develop a positive attitude towards a thing, because if an employee has a positive attitude, not only he benefits by way of enjoying his life, having a positive attitude towards his neighbors, positive attitude towards his children, upbringing of his children in a positively way, he also contributes to the overall productivity of the organization, because since he has a positive attitude, he always would like to encourage the people. He never looks for the what you call escaping from the situation as such. He always would like to face the challenges, he would like to guide the people, goad the people and all that. Normally, any individual would have 4 kinds of perceptions. vis-a-vis the others. The first could be, I am okay, you are not okay, I am not okay, you are okay. The third one is, I am okay, you are okay. The fourth one is, I am not okay, you are not okay. Now, let us explain one by one. In this kind of situation, this particular individual or an employee has some problems about his performance, but still has a positive outlook about the others. He would like to, though he is not happy with his performance, he would like to comply with the wishes or the what attitudes of the other people as such. Then let us take the second situation. I am not okay, you are not okay. Not only his performance is not good, he is also not happy with the performance of the people. That means, you have what we call negative stroking, not only from within, that is the self, but also negative stroking from his friends or others as well who are working with him or around him. This is basically typical of a child's behavior. A child thinks that whatever he is doing is absolutely fine, but others are not trying to understand him or others are not trying to cooperate with him. This basically happens in the home environment, because a child has so many demands. He would like to go for entertainment, he would like to spend some time with his friends, he is not interested in studies. So, whatever he does, he thinks that he is doing right things, but when the parents try to advise him positively to come up in life by sheer sincere and the hard work, he thinks that they are not okay. Now, let us take that such third situation. I am okay, but you are not okay. Now, this is basically of a child's behavior as such. The fourth situation is, I am okay, you are also okay. This is in fact one of the best situations any organizations could bargain for. The employees look at the things, perceive the things positively, they take all the decisions of the management sportively in the interest of the organization and cooperate with the management sincerely for the upliftment of the organization. The way we perceive the things, the way we try to understand the things make a lot of difference. Let us take another example, the case of Syndicate Bank. Couple of years back, Syndicate Bank was not at all doing well. They had problems. At one point of time, the government of India even thought of merging the Syndicate Bank with another bank. At this stage, the union officials who perceived the things positively thought that they could do something for the turnaround of the organization. They have confidence in their people. They were positive about their contribution. They have drawn up the list of representatives who have been asked to go around the different departments, divisions and identify where they have excess workforce, where they have shortage of workforce. Once this process was completed, voluntarily by taking the consent of the people, they have redeployed the excess workforce where the workforce was required. By this, not only they could make use of the excess workforce who are not contributing to the performance of the organization and made them to contribute to the productivity of the organization. Now, this is a clear case how the union employees perceived things positively. This situation was being perceived by the union people as well as for the management people as such, but management, while lost its hopes in turning around the organization as such, the union people did not look at the thing like that. They had a positive perception of the things as such. Accordingly, they worked hard and in this process also solicited the cooperation of the employees who willingly came forward and today Syndicate Bank is doing extremely well. Perception is a sensory experience, but all the perceptions may not be accurate and correct, but the consequences of the perceptions are real. Let us take another example to understand how the perceptions could go wrong. One family, the parents both were working, the husband as well as wife. So, one neighbor who was closely watching them has observed that both these parents, they go early in the morning, come back late in the evening. They had one son, one daughter. The son's name was David. And David not only used to get ready for himself, he used to help his sister and also used to pack her lunch as well. Apart from that, he also used to accompany his sister to the school and also pick up his sister after the school is over. The neighbor who was watching this family probably thought that, because the way he was perceiving the things, he thought that since the parents hardly had any time to take care of their children, one day or other day these children may end up as failures. But see, the destiny was totally different. This David, who was studying in a school, was spotted by the guardian counselor. The guardian counselor found in this boy some mechanical skills and accordingly not only advised him, but also made arrangements to put him in a trading school, Industrial Training Institute, ITA. So, there David, having successfully completed his course, got an employment in one of the factory. Now, there another important incident took place. His boss found him to be very sincere, ever willing to learn. So, he taught him and tutored him to do better and better. And at the next promotion, David was the first one to get the promotion. Interestingly, when the boss who was trying to help David also got promotion. So, when he got his promotion, he suggested to the management to put David in his place. After a few years, the boss who was taking care of the David got another promotion. So, he once again, since he was impressed with the performance of the David, recommended to put David in his place. See the neighbor's perception. The neighbor who was observing this family, having noted that the parents hardly had any time to take care of their children, thought that children will one day or other day will become a failure, but things were happening differently. So, perception will not be accurate, may not be accurate, but the consequences of the perception will be very clear. Since perception affects the attitude of the employee, it is the responsibility of the managers, manning HRD department to monitor and to take all the necessary steps to see that the employees perceive the things positively. Having said that, perception affects, allows the person to develop either a negative attitude or positive attitude. Let us also look at the factors which will have a crucial bearing on the perception of an individual. It could be an employee or a common man. There are three factors which will have a crucial impact or influence on the way the people look at the things. One is environment, second experience, the third is education. Now, let us take environment. In the environment, you have host of things like your home, your neighbors, radio, TV, the print media, the friends, relatives, all these factors which form the external environment do have a very crucial bearing on the way the people look at the things, the way the people understand the things. Now, let us take an example. On the TV, when the children for instance, they come across an incident where people of different religious faiths fighting with each other, what sort of impact it will have on the children. The children will also think oh, there are two different religions. So, two different religions, people have different faiths. So, it will not be possible for the people to get united. It will not be possible for the people to work unitedly as such. The print media and especially the TV has a very crucial bearing in shaping the perceptions and in the process the opinions and the attitude of the people as such. That is why we have, for instance, the censor boards who regularly go through the movies either in the Bollywood or in the Tollywood or anywhere else to see that some objectionable scenes are not screened. Why? Because they have a crucial bearing especially on the tender minds of the people. Let us take the case of a happy family, where parents, apart from attending to their responsibilities, also take care of their children, tell the children good things about the life, about helping the people, helping the needy, coming to the rescue of the needy, and working sincerely hard in the life to come up in the life, not only to stand on their own legs, but also help the neighborhood as such. Now, in this kind of environment, the children will definitely have positive perception about the things. In fact, it is said success breeds success. We have seen in the case of cricket, when the top players, when they go through a what we call lean patch, like let us take the case of Sachin Tendulkar. He was a good player, a talented batsman, but in the case of normally any cricket player or any sportsman, there could always be a lean patch, a poor form. It is a transitionary phase, but if people perceive these things as if that the player has finished or is become a total failure as such, it will have a crucial impact on his behavior and he may end up as a failure. So, the managers manning any division and especially manning the human resource department, they should take always positive steps and see that a positive kind of environment is created and people, employees are given enough chance to try to understand the things, because what we see, what we understand, what we understand, what we think, it has an impact on the behavior, the way we behave, the way we act. So, in this background, it is very pertinent, important that we should take care to project the things or to present the things, especially the environment of a factory, or it could be a service enterprise, or it is a college or any institute. A positive environment is created whereby an employee has a feeling that things are looking up. If he has a positive attitude, if he works hard sincerely for the overall performance of the corporation, for the turnaround of the corporation or the organization also takes care of it. Now, apart from the environment, there is another factor which has a crucial bearing in shaping up the attitude and the perception of an individual, that is education. Educational institutions, be it schools, colleges, universities, they have an important role to play in developing a positive attitude. Once they create a positive environment, the children studying in the schools or the college going girls, boys studying in the colleges or the universities, they start looking at the things positively. Once they start looking at the things positively, they develop a positive attitude which not only helps the organizations in future where they will be joining, but also the country as such. So, first we said environment, second we said education, and third one is experience. Normally an individual, once he succeeds, he develops a positive attitude, he says that all his future efforts will be a success. But once he encounters a failure, it discourages him, he gets demotivated, dejectivated. So, that is why the managers, they should take care of their subordinates and see that enough opportunity is given to try their creative, innovative abilities. Even if they commit some mistakes and all that, they should give enough time to rectify themselves by encouraging them. We have seen the case of the Infosys, where the employees are continuously allowed to innovate or create their energies and all that. That is why they are contributing their best, and Infosys is one of the leading software company as such. Since perception is very important, molds the behavior of the people by affecting the attitude, the organizations should take care to create a positive environment so that employees could perceive the things positively.